Greetings and salutations, Tube Dwellers. Your host, the Mad Bag, here, returning with some more professional Starcraft 2. Game 2 in the Dreamhack 2013 Best of 3 between LiquidTLO and mouzLucifron. Man, look at that split. Even did a little bit of micro on the auto split to make it ever so more efficient. Throwing out their manners, first is your green Terran player, Lucifron. Spawning in the bottom left of Whirlwind LE, and in the bottom right, his opponent, the red Zerg player, LiquidTLO. I'm going to spoil game 1. If you haven't watched it, you're out of sequence. What the hell are you doing? Get in sequence. Go watch it first. Close this video. TLO took it in a surprising fashion. Surprisingly one-sided fashion, I should say. TLO used a Roach Hydra Viper style against the mech of Lucifron, and that style from TLO really intrigues me. I wonder if it would have developed that way if Lucifron hadn't gone mech. I'm not sure. I think there are ways to make Roach Hydra work against Bio, but I don't know. I'd like to see it. TLO giving me the inspirations for my Heart of the Swarm Zerg play. It was surprisingly one-sided. Lucifron started to do a push out around 160 food, and TLO crushed it in all the worst ways and just took a trade efficiency lead and carried that to a outstanding army advantage that just crushed Lucifron as he sat defensively, which is just absolutely crazy. Defense is mech's strong suit. In Lucifron's defense, he was mind-gamed a little bit by TLO. TLO had him thinking there was going to be an early Roach push, but then he did more of a macro Roach-oriented build. And then TLO did a fake drop, a fake Doom drop with a solid 12 or 14 Overlords, and didn't even have drop tech, but freaked Lucifron out. He built a bunch of turrets, built a few more Thors than I think he probably wanted, and later on even started building Vikings. So TLO had his opponent confused, had Lucifron in the dark, unaware of exactly what was going on. This game, Lucifron's build's developing a little bit differently. I would probably blame it on the size of this map. This is a very large macro map. It looks like he went and slapped the command center down at his natural before putting the gas out. Now, last map he opened with Reapers, and it was on Star Station, so no surprise. Reapers have a lot of cliff line. Here there's this void space that Reapers can't cross, so there's not near as much cliff line. I guess I should show it to you on TLO's base, since this is the base that Lucifron would be going in, even though they're identical. You have to come up either the ramp or like this little cliff here. I think they can also come up this little cliff here, Reapers, but then they would have to come up here or here. A lot closer, smaller bit of real estate. It's a lot easier for a Zerg player to protect and deal with. So this time instead, Lucifron goes for the macro-centric variation, puts the command center out first. Doesn't look like he has any plans to use some Reapers. He does have 2 gas down at this point. So we see the factory coming along, and the barracks is going to back up and put a reactor out. A few Marines stand guard. TLO scouts around the map. It looks like this Overlord hasn't moved in, so TLO doesn't exactly know where Lucifron is yet, whereas Lucifron brought an SCV over into TLO's base immediately. Went straight over there. I'd like to see this Overlord move in just a little bit more. It looks like he started to. He's going to come out here to the side. He's got another Overlord that's scouted this base and is heading towards the cross-spawn position. And if TLO sees this, that should confirm it for him. Some Marines crossing the map. And it looks like he's got Lings in position to see it from all angles. So Overlord just wants to dodge in there. Now, I guess there's not a whole lot to see yet. Actually, you know what? That's straight to a starport. A lot of Terrans will get a 3rd command center before going this heavy into their tech tree. Lucifron this time, though, he's opened very macro-centrically, but now he's going to double back and go hard into the tech. He's also getting a lot of Hellions. We've got 2, just came out, he's got 2 more in production. These Marines are doomed if TLO involves any Zerglings. It looks like he might not. TLO doesn't have Zergling speed. It's not even researching. He actually went really deep on mineral only, and now he's getting 4 gas all at the same time. Wow. That is really crazy to see. I wonder what that's going to flip into. 4 Hellions are now out. They're heading across the map. Lucifron's got some decent saturation, but honestly I'm seeing SCV hiccups here. I'm sure it's unintentional, but that makes me think that macro isn't really on his mind. Macro's not the thing that he's pushing for the hardest. TLO doesn't have Ling speed, but should be completely fine against these Hellions. He's got 4 queens, and as I say that, wow! You know what? That block was beautiful. TLO does have a queen at each base still, and Lucifron's going to be real hard-pressed to get anything done with 2 Hellions. As you can see, it takes double volleys from only 2 Hellions. So a total of at least 3 shots, but since they volley together, 4 shots just to kill a drone. So we saw there 3 drones killed, not near the cost efficiency that Lucifron would have liked. Trading workers for combat units, a lot of times you can trade inefficiently, and it will give you a lead a few minutes from then, because it will allow you to take an economic lead. But anyway you slice it, Lucifron would have definitely liked to get a lot more than that. Now, TLO's kind of low on drone count. He stayed mineral heavy real long. He got a 3rd out fast. He got a lot of queens out fast. But now that he's diving heavy into the gas, it looks like he's really slowed down his worker production. You know what? As I say that, 8 workers coming. He's now doing the double evolution chamber. So it looks like he's going to be spinning this gas soon, and he's going to try to macro up at this 3rd base. Now I see a spore crawler there. I have to wonder, did TLO spot something? He did. He spotted a starport on a tech lab. And his spot was accurate. It was for Banshees, and they do have Cloak. Now, TLO has 1 Spore Crawler. Lucifron's going to skate right by this base, though. Is he planning on going to the natural? TLO is so ready for this. The number of queens he has, Spore Crawlers, they only have about 7 range, which comes out to about here on each side of the hatchery, just about to where the gas is. But they have 10 range when it comes to detection. So TLO should be able to use the detection of the Spore Crawlers to deal with this Cloak, even when the Spore Crawlers themselves can't shoot it. He's got plenty of queens. The queens should make this work out for TLO. He's also just getting out roaches, so these Hellions shouldn't be that big of a threat. Now, all of this is theory, and theory can either be made or broken by execution, and here we see the break in theory. Lucifron's gotten a few more drones at this point, with these Hellions coming around to the 3rd base as the Banshees make TLO nervous about moving out with the bulk of his forces. TLO's got quite a few roaches, though, and he's being really forward with them. Okay, never mind. He was heading straight towards Lucifron's base, but roaches can't shoot up, so if he tries to attack with these, not only will Banshees be there to defend the attack, they'll be shooting the roaches all the way across the map. But Lucifron has been deflected. For the most part, it seems like it was a pretty cost-effective defense. Lucifron invested quite a bit in that tech. Now, Lucifron didn't really lose anything. And TLO, I think, lost a few queens and a number of roaches. So, oh, and of course the drones. He's going to lose maybe a couple more here. He's getting up into the double-digit range, but the worker count... actually, you know, that's not that comfortable for a Zerg. It's 60 to 58. He wants to have a better lead than that on the Terran. Now, it's kind of alleviated by the fact that TLO's mining across 3 bases, whereas Lucifron's only mining across 2. But, Lucifron's moving that 3rd out now, so that's getting ready to be wiped out. And he's setting up defensive positions. He's got amazing defensive positions already in his natural. It looks like TLO does have aggression on his mind, too, so Lucifron is totally in the right. Oh, man. Lucifron needs to be careful with those unsieged tanks. Unsieged tanks do really good single-target damage versus armored. Of course, it's always better with the splash, though. As tightly as these roaches pack up, the splash can hit between, like, 4 and 8 different roaches, depending on how it's targeted. Looks like he's bringing overlords in. I have to assume that this is for creep spread, and that's really cool. Lucifron's got a wall erecting really fast. TLO's going to be able to break that. That's going to force Lucifron to reposition. And that can always be a pain when you have siege tanks in your mix. It looks like Lucifron is mostly committed to a bio style here, but he's getting a few tanks out. Seeing the heavy roach composition from TLO, I like that choice. That ensures that he can still be very cost efficient against the roach heavy style. And TLO, similar style actually. He's got the infestation pit down. Pathogen glands was not researched, but he is getting 4 infestors. He's also got a hydralisk in, and he's getting the boost right now, the muscular augments for increased movement speed off creep. So I don't know if this is going to be hydralisk simply to combat the Banshee content, or if he's actually going to use them to great effect in the composition. It looks like building 10 of them. It looks like he has plans to use them consistently. Lucifron's going to have to be careful with this Banshee. Oh, it's going to get picked. Down goes the Banshee. And again, TLO with this crazy drop fake. You know, in a series, it's cool that he's doing this, but in a series, I would have loved to seen this be a real drop. I would have really loved. And look, Lucifron's not falling for it this time. He's like, it's a fake one. I know it is. He's going to move out instead. And you know what? If it's not a fake drop, that means TLO's army's right there in those overlords. Lucifron's gotten a pretty great position here, but TLO is positioning for a counterattack. Either that or a surround. No, it looks like it is going to be a counterattack. He's just going to abandon the third. He's got a fourth up, so this is going to become his new third. He didn't lose any of the drones. Scratch that, he lost a couple. Oh man, TLO ready with those fungal growths. It looks like Lucifron spotted it out just in time. I'm not sure TLO's attack was able to do anything. There are bunkers up. There are siege tanks in position. At least one, and that's going to make it very difficult for TLO to get a cost-effective trade. Oh, but TLO's surrounded from all sides. He does have fungal growths. It doesn't look like he's landed the best fungals, but he's got a very high DPS army. This is actually a really close fight. TLO's on the bottom side of supply, and according to units lost, he's in the back side of this, but Lucifron's going to play it safe. He's going to get out. TLO's going to be able to defend that. A lot of damage was dealt, though, and TLO wasn't able to reciprocate that damage. Oh my god, TLO is actually upgrading drops now. Not only did he do a fake drop in the first game, never even upgrading drops, he already did a fake drop in this game, and now he's going to upgrade drops. Lucifron's going to be certain that that drop isn't going to be real, and this time, it's going to be real. Oh, he's got the timing down, too. He knows when it's about to finish, and it is a Hydralisk heavy drop. As we click through these overlords, some have roaches, but plenty have Hydralisks. Lucifron moving right back out again. God, he's being so aggressive with this Marine tank composition. Just a few Marauders in it, really just part of the defense that he was setting up to begin with. The drop is actually going to happen this time. We're in full-on base trait scenario. Lucifron's going to leave a couple units behind to clear up this fourth base of TLO, and he's going to move in with a lot of units. Oh, into the natural, into the third. TLO's got the main, though. He's cutting off production. It looks like Lucifron wants to protect this factory, wants to get a siege tank out, and try to get defensive positions up. Lucifron's got a lot of forces, though. As we can see the units lost developing, they're actually really close. It's really even. I think Lucifron's just taken the front end of this, though. We can see in cost of army, the defense for Lucifron is going a little bit more stiffly than the defense for TLO. Now, TLO has some defense here, so Lucifron is going to have to use his tanks. Using just a pure Marine composition against this could be a little bit dangerous. Blinding Cloud making it even more dangerous. TLO all of a sudden getting greatly cost-effective trades, but there are still too many Marines. TLO knows it. He's not getting near enough damage in the main of Lucifron, although he did disrupt production. He wasn't able to really shut anything down. Once Lucifron defended that, he'd be able to go right back to mining there. He'd be able to go right back to producing on all cylinders, and TLO was deeply hampered by this base trade. So interesting. I really like that I got to see TLO use that same... and you know what? It wasn't the same style. I was getting ready to say use the same style. It was roughly the same composition. Primarily Roach Hydra. With Vipers. He actually got the Vipers in late. He had Vipers over here sucking off this base so that they could get energy. And used some Blinding Clouds, but wasn't really able to get their true effect in the battle. This time Lucifron, though, with a Marine tank style. Kind of an old style. This is a very Wings of Liberty style. We've seen it almost die off. But it worked really well. The tanks in the beginning to help defend against the potential roach pressure. And then the follow-up push that just really sunk it. And we have game number 2 in this best of 3. Tying things up to 1-1. Who will win the consolation match and who will have the claim to Gosu? Is it going to be TLO? Is it going to be Lucifron? Find out in the next match.